Okay, so I woke up yesterday or the day before? What was it? Yeah, yesterday. And I looked at my email and I saw that this email was there in my inbox. So booted up my computer, kind of took care of things. But basically, so it came from reporter at repolookout.org. So it says potential security vulnerability on this host. So what it is our security scanner repo lookout has found a likely vulnerability on a host for which you are listed as the contact. Repo Lookout is a non-commercial project to find inadvertently publicly exposed source code repositories. So they're basically looking at publicly available items. So technically, nothing happened. They're just scanning around. And of course, they also explain the following URL was world readable at the time of scanning. Git logs head. This allows at least partial access to the site's underlying source code repository. For instance, the latest 3 commits have been these 3 commits that are basically like from forever ago, because I've been using rsync ever since rather than Git. Such access to the repository could give a malicious actor insight into the structure of the site and enable downstream attacks, data leakage, phishing, extortion. So some of these for an HTML site is, they're gonna find like my wallpapers, zip folder, a couple of projects that I've uploaded. That's kind of most of it, and a lot of it is already like linked publicly otherwise. There might be a couple things here and there that they might find that I haven't cleaned out, but yeah. If this was not intended, we highly recommend to disable access to the source code repository, which is decently easy, being as I don't use it as a with Git anymore. So pretty much all I did was delete the Git folder that is created when Git initializes a repo. What is Repo Lookout? Repo Lookout is a large-scale security scanner with a single purpose: find source code repositories that have been inadvertently exposed to the public and report them to the domain's technical contact. Visit repolookout.org to learn more about the project. If you find this vulnerability or report useful, please consider supporting the project by becoming a sponsor on Ko-fi. So, this is how they advertise at the same time, but it's actually pretty cool. So this is the website. Repo Lookout is a large-scale security scanner with a single purpose: find source code repositories that have been inadvertently exposed to the public because you misconfigured things and blah, 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 blah. So generally accidental source code exposure for websites. In my case, it's just HTML and maybe a little bit of JavaScript mixed in, but not that much, because the only thing that would have JavaScript is like the Oregon Trail game that's hiding out on the site. That's about it. Other than that, it's CSS and HTML. So the URL index from several sources, so Common Crawl, Trinko List, and Chrome UX Report. Let's see, statistics. So as of June 30th, they've scanned over 6.5 billion URLs. Let's see, 676 million domains, and a total of 734,000 publicly exposed source code repositories have been found to date, to include mine. As a result, Repo Lookout sent almost 213,000 emails to technical contact, of which 153,000 emails were successfully delivered. So I assume that one of those is mine, being as it didn't send them a rejected or anything. Now, what's really cool, let's actually start from the bottom up. So they've got their sponsors, a Ko-fi link. So, why are commits readable when the .git URL returns 403? A widespread misconfiguration, unfortunately described in many blog posts, prohibits access to the Git folder itself, but not the files inside the folder. So this is a problem with permissions of, like, in a sense, it restricts the .git folder, but it doesn't restrict the files inside of it, so you can't go and ls the .git folder. But you can kind of start to, like, if you're familiar with what's in there, you can kind of start to look at the files inside of it and it's more of the file, it doesn't recursively apply those permissions to the contents of the folder. The problem is so common that it was the primary reason why repo lookout was created in the first place. To be absolutely sure that the Git repository is no longer exposed, try adding /config, as in top double domain.git/config, or logshead, as in, and see if those URLs are still world readable. So you basically put in like your website and then the .git config and so on. And then it'll tell you whether it can be accessed. And you do that from the web browser. How did you get my personal email address? Most likely from the inadvertently exposed source code repository itself, because it'll have that information in the head file and the stuff that is publicly available. So they can, if people maliciously were looking for it, for people to bother, they could scan that email and send you, like, extract your email from it and send you stuff that way. How to opt out of being scanned. So if you don't want to be scanned, you can send an opt-out email with the domain, IP range, your ranges, and so on. And then request log entries from previous scan as a means of authentication. Deny all requests with an HTTP user agent of repo lookout bot. So they do have their own custom user agent, so you can reject those in your configs. But the best part is how to prevent exposed repositories. It's recommended to configure the web server to deny access to all .dot folders. However, to prevent Git repositories from being exposed, it's sufficient to deny access to .git folders. Exactly how you do this depends on the server software used, but here are some configuration examples. So you've got your Nginx, your Apache, and your Caddy. So if you're using Caddy web server, add the following directive to your Caddy file. So you use .git and then your wildcard 403, and then restart Caddy. If you're running Apache, you add the directory match, and then deny from all. And then, again, don't forget to restart the service. And then Nginx's location. What is that? Yeah, that's tilde or grave. Yeah, I'll figure out which one it was again, what it's called. But anyway, git deny all. Okay, so what we can do is we can go in, SSH in, and then what we do, thanks dog, is we go to our let's see, Nginx. Okay, so let's see, we go and add our location. So we're gonna go and do it here. If it'll. So under HTTP, we're gonna do this. And I think we should be able to do the same thing with HTTPS. So we go location, that bugger, and then // and then we add a curly brace, and then we deny all, and then we add the closing brace, and then we get back to normal mode and do that. Okay, so that should enable us to work with that. So what we will also do is we will double check some of the other things that we have to double check. Maybe we want to enable HTTPS. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. So we go systemctl restart Nginx. Give me a second. Okay, so when you're doing it, make sure it's encapsulated in the server thing, and then location, and then deny all. And then it should work just fine, because I can now exit there, restart, and it does it just fine. So make sure it's like encapsulated correctly. Yeah. So yeah, that should do it just fine, and it should secure everything just dandy. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, boost the video up, share this video with your friends. If you found it informative or you just want to chat, I've got plenty of places in the description. Discord, Guilded, and what have you. Check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one.